Hi there, this is Josh from Literary Gladiators, and today I am here with the Cheese Book Tag 2.0. This is a creation based on the original Cheese Book Tag that I put together 10 years ago. I was getting feedback from people to see, would you like to see me, for the 10th anniversary, do a revisitation of the original questions and the original prompts? Or do you want me to create brand new questions and prompts with different kinds of cheese? Most people wanted the latter, and while you're going to see one or two that you saw from previous book tags, be it the original cheese book tag or the blue cheese book tag, the questions are going to be completely fresh. This here, is some cheese that I cut up from the block that you could find in the thumbnail of this video, and this is a half a pound of aged Asiago. I bought this from Bagliani's down in Hamilton, and really good. I also got some Parmigiano Reggiano and aged provolone, but I've been using that to shave on my salad. Could probably shave this on my salad too, but I wanted something to nibble on for this particular tag, and I think that out of the three, this was the best choice. So we're going to jump right into the prompts. This is the 10th anniversary version of the Cheese Book Tag. I first released the Cheese Book Tag, which is my very first Foodie Book Tag, on June 29th, 2015. I wanted to have it released to coincide with the anniversary, but that was not able to happen. I had a lot of silent book clubs and general book clubs to prepare for, and we also took a field trip on the anniversary, which will be coming up soon, where some of the gladiators and I went to visit Second Time Books. But let's jump right into this. We have 12 prompts and some additional questions. And the first one is Jarlsberg, which is a Norwegian response to Emmentaler, which we recognize the national, or American and some other versions as Swiss. A great retelling or great work with clear inspiration from another work. And for that, I went with The Phantom Tollbooth by Norton Juster. I reread this year for a Literary Gladiators discussion that will be coming up in a few weeks. And this clearly has reflections of Wonderland, be it Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, Through the Looking Glass, Lewis Carroll's works, where they visit Wonderland. And this just has to do with the brilliant use of absurdity and the just thinking outside of the box as far as approaching life is concerned. The major difference between the two, as you're going to see me mention in the upcoming discussion, depending on which one you see first, that this one uses absurdity in the way that it argues in favor of meaning in life. Whereas Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass use absurdity to argue the meaninglessness of life. Next one is Comte, a soft-spoken, overlooked, but wise work or writer. And for that, I'm going to go with Hermann Hesse. He wrote Siddhartha, Narcissus and Goldmund, Demian, Steppenwolf, Journey to the East. And what I notice is that even though there is a sense of intense feelings, a feeling of stress and uptightness and other things that you wouldn't necessarily apply to those like Siddhartha himself. I think that what comes with it is a realization of wisdom. And I feel that Hermann Hesse, through his work, seems to be able to work through problems and tension that he has in order to come to a realization of what life really has to offer. And, I mean, Demian's one of my all-time favorites, and while the others I think are good or pretty good, I still think that there is a sense of wisdom that can come through reading his works. Next one is Red Leicester, an immersive work that you wish you discovered much sooner. And for that, I went with Boy's Life by Robert McCammon. I had been collecting McCammon for quite some time, or at least I had my eye on his work. The first book from him that I bought was Mystery Walk from a flea market, but I hadn't gotten to that for quite some time. I read his short story Eat Me because I had the collection of Zombies Encounters with the Hungry Dead. Then I got Boy's Life, I had Swan Song. Then I started getting into I started collecting his other works until I had a complete collection of his standalones. And I'm making my way through collecting his series. However, I didn't get to this until 2019 because I had it on the agenda for Literary Gladiator Season 10. I was so immersed in this. This coming-of-age piece was just brilliant. I just really love the authenticity that McCammon puts into this, and how the speculation within this piece can be tied to something that can actually happen, or a thought that can actually take fruition. I did eventually read Mystery Walk, and I really enjoyed that one too, but Boy's Life is one of my all-time favorites as well. It's in my top 10, if you watch my 2019 version of my favorite books of all time. Next one is Wensleydale, a sweet or heartfelt work involving an invention or scientific discovery. And for that, I went with The Invention of Hugo Cabret by Brian Selznick. This is a written piece, but with plenty of illustration, and it inspired a film and has to do with a young boy, the friendship that he forms with a young girl, and how it connects with her inventor grandfather, who also was illustrative in the visuals involving the 1902 film, A Voyage to the Moon, which was a French film back in the day. But I read this as a buddy read with my high school friend Will, and we did a written collaboration for my blog that I contributed to back in the day. Next one is Appenzeller. And I have two prompts for this. You can choose either prompt A or prompt B. I'm going to answer both of them, though, because I created the tag. Prompt A is an underrated work of Swiss literature. And prompt B is a work that makes you think of masculinity. To me, an underrated work of Swiss literature is Jacob von Gunten by Robert Walser. This is something that I would just like to study and look through again, because it just says a lot about the meaning or the meaninglessness of life. I just like these brilliant works that you question how they make sense, but once you figure it out, they make a whole load of sense. And I think that Robert Walser is an underrated genius when it comes to literature, even though there are people that can argue that he can be a little bit pretentious as far as his execution's concerned. And a work that makes me think of masculinity is Endurance, Shackleton's Incredible Voyage by Alfred Lansing, because it has to do with this group of men and their exploration to Antarctica, and you see all of the different aspects of what they need to contribute in order to make this happen. Especially the accomplishment of Shackleton's ability to understand people, whereas it takes more than just being able to have particular exploration skills and strengths. All of your anytime you do a team project that involves other people, in order to be a good leader, you have to be able to understand the people that you are leading and be able to make them as passionate and as determined as you are in order to get the job done. It's just like being a coach on a team, where you might be able to put together formulas in order to win a game, but if you don't know how to manage and understand the people that are going to need to take the steps to winning that game, you're not going to make it far. But how it applies to masculinity, it's just those general aspects that come with the traits that involve a more positive masculinity, and that is strength, camaraderie, grit, just the background and the atmosphere of what is often applied to the term. The next one is Mascarpone. And for that, I just asked the question, have you been to a silent book club? The reason that I'm applying Mascarpone to this prompt is Mascarpone is a silent contributor to a lot of great desserts, be it tiramisu. Sometimes it's used in cheesecake. But Mascarpone on its own doesn't really have a standout taste to it. It's not like cream cheese that's incredibly sweet, but its texture and its contribution to other major food staples really has a key impact. And I do think that silent book clubs have also had a major impact on bringing the reading community together. And yes, I have been to silent book clubs. I've been to 13 different chapters. I'm planning to add more. And at the time that I'm taping this video, I just attended my 70th Silent Book Club meeting. And I'm planning, and I have more on my schedule. I desire to go on a Silent Book Club road trip at some point. I think that would be something fun to do. If somebody would like to, I mean, there's people that want to go see Plymouth Rock in person. Plymouth Rock is about the size. You could probably easily fit Plymouth Rock on a playground, and it wouldn't really prove to be a burden. A young kid could probably climb it, and it would be and it wouldn't be a hassle for them. They can jump down, and that's that. But some people think, why would you travel all that distance just to read with other people? My answer is, why not? It's nice to meet all kinds of people. It's just a nice experience to meet fellow readers. I had thought about doing the same with going on a bookstore road trip. I have a lot of books, though, and I want to read what I have first. But as far as silent book clubs are concerned, it's just, I like the structure of a 2-hour meeting where you spend the first half hour settling in and talking with other readers. You spend a full hour silently reading whatever you want. And then you spend the last half hour either reading some more, talking with people some more, or just heading home. It's just a wonderful experience. I've had a great time and had great experiences in all of my Silent Book Club meetings. I highly encourage you to check out their site and find a Silent Book Club that's near you. There may be some that are even hidden that aren't under the Silent Book Club label, but they do something similar where they have people socialize and just silently read. And I highly, highly, highly encourage you to check out Silent Book Clubs. Next one is Pecorino Romano. A satisfying, memorable, straightforward work. And for that, I went with The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. And I would say that reading it a second time, it was much more impactful to me and my reading experience, because it says a lot about human thought and human response, where we are very much influenced by our environment and through peer pressure. Because when a great deal of people want to do something and take certain steps, then there's a great inclination to do so. And when they want to do the reverse, it's the same thing, and it leaves a great deal of desolation and emptiness for a few, as it is mentioned in his book. Along with Fahrenheit 451, this is a masterpiece from Ray Bradbury's backlog. Next one is Pepperjack, a work of horror that was mildly intense. And for that, I went with The Monkey's Paw by W. W. Jacobs, because I think it is the master of psychological horror, because what it presents to you with the concept of 3 wishes and playing with fate, the way that it builds up its conclusion and ultimately concludes is so mind-boggling. You have no idea what the visual expectation could have been. The Monkey's Paw is just so... It is, to me, the top model of what it is to incorporate psychological horror? Could it be graphic? Could it not be graphic? I think that that's even more horrifying, to be able to create this image while sparing us the blood and the gore. Alrighty, the next one is another twofer. Question 9 is I delpocazzi, which you can find this cheese in on the show Pinky and the Brain. There was a segment called Pinky's Cheese Roll Call, and I delpocazzi made an appearance. But Prompt A is a German book you would like to read, and Prompt B is a book with a blue cover you would like to read. You can do one, the other, or both. But I'm going to do both because I'm the creator of this tag. For a German book I'd like to read, I have The Clown by Heinrich Böll. I would like to read more from Heinrich Böll in general, but The Clown was the one that I had the most difficult time acquiring. And I have this copy. It's more likely that I'm going to read this on my own, because I wouldn't want to, for a general discussion, I would not want anybody to have to go through the challenges and the hoops just to get to acquiring this. But I think that being able to get the experience of, I think that Heinrich Böll does quite a fine job writing about the experiences of the common people of Germany during the 20th century. And for a book with a blue cover I would like to read, I'm picking The Jewish Cookbook by Lena Koenig. I got this as part of the Faden cookbook collection. I have one of Nordic recipes as well, but I would like to try my hand at Jewish cuisine. It's something that I'm really fascinated and curious about. Next prompt is Feta, a work of ancient world literature that you still find relevant to today. And for that, I chose Aesop's Fables, because the morals within this piece are still very relevant to what they were back then. They apply very simple visuals. In this case, most of the subjects are animals in different situations, and what applies to them is a message or a moral that oftentimes that has stood the test of time. For instance, you have the shepherd's boy and the wolf, which is the boy who cried wolf is made mention to frequently, where if you keep lying, people aren't going to believe you, even if you're telling the truth. And the same thing with the milkmaid and her pail, which we discussed on our channel. It's a matter of don't count your chickens before they hatch, where she thought that she had everything in the bag, but she wasn't paying attention to the task at hand and lost what she felt that she had in the bag. And then you have the tortoise and the hare, where slow and steady wins the race, which people continue to refer to that as well. Almost sounding like it's a cliche, but the message at hand still remains relevant. Next is chèvre, which is the French term for goat cheese. A French work written before 1900 that you feel is still relevant to today. And for that, I went with Micromegas by Voltaire, and you can find it easily in Great French Short Stories edited by Paul Negri. And you could find this story right here. And it is a philosophical story about beings from other planets coming to Earth. And these beings are so big that when they arrive to planet Earth, a big creature like a blue whale can fit practically into their thumbnail. And I think this is an exploration of how we give ourselves so much meaning, but in the grander scheme of things, there is a great sense of meaninglessness when you apply that idea of what will happen when somebody from a Jovian planet, be it Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, or even one of their moons, comes to our planet. And how will they see us? Next is Manchego, a book that you find is appropriate for any setting, be it school reading, general book club, a silent book club, or any other reading environment. And for that, I went with The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. I actually just finished 1,000 Splendid Suns for a general book club. I'm really happy that I was able to get to read that book. But Kite Runner is one of my all-time favorites, and it has so much to offer, be it the ability to strengthen your cultural understanding, the ability to strengthen your grasp on relatively modern history, your ability to develop empathy with characters, your ability to see somebody redeem themselves for issues that they dealt with in the past. This book has everything, and I really think that it's appropriate for any setting as far as putting together a meaningful and insightful educational experience, or just a conversational experience as far as a more social or arranged setting is concerned. Next is, what is your favorite kind of cheese? And for me, some of my favorites include Pecorino Romano, Parmigiano Reggiano, Asiago, mozzarella. I like aged Gouda, or aged Gouda is the appropriate term, actually. I like Manchego. I like aged Provolone. I really started to fall in love with Red Leicester. Trying to think if I can put any... There's, to me, ricotta's a good ingredient cheese. And I enjoy that as the base for things like cannoli, or stuffed in your pasta. I could be here for quite a while listing off some of my favorite. And Pecorino Tartufo is another one that I really enjoy. That one I could enjoy right on its own as well. And I can be here all day. And I've thought about putting together a list of my 10 favorite kinds of cheese, but that would be incredibly difficult, especially since there are certain details that would change based off of my mood. But I do think that Max McCalman is right, where I think sheep do make the best cheese as a general rule of thumb. He also says goats make the best milk and cows make the best butter. But I also tend to favor harder and more aged cheese. But there's, like everything, exceptions to the rule. And finally, who do I nominate to complete this book tag? I have 17 names down that I would like to nominate. I nominate Michaela and Gretchen from Betwixt the Books, James from James Holder, Mark from Richardson Reads, Steve from Steve Donahue, Amy from Amy's Dusty Bookshelf, Maddie from A Quaint Hobbit, Stephanie from Coffee Over Apples, Maddie from Madeline Reads, Dan from Redankulous, Sophie from Redhead Reading, Katie from Books and Things, Andrew from You Could Be Reading More, Tim from Thrifty Tim's Books and Music, Adam from Forest Fox, Tara from Tara's Book Nook, Lexi from Lex's Book Nook, and Keely from Keely's Reading Nook. I wanted to incorporate people that have completed tags before, in particular the original Cheese Book Tag, and I also wanted to encourage people that have discussed or have shown a fondness for cheese, and then also those that are making or have interest in making a comeback onto BookTube or into just creating content in general. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Cheese Book Tag 2.0. If I did not nominate you and you want to complete this, please do so. And I'd love to see how you answer these questions. And I want to thank you for tuning in once again. We have a lot more videos in store. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how Season 17 takes fruition and getting ready to film Season 18. This aged Asiago is good. I'm going to make my way through this cheese and encourage you to go and put together some cheese for yourself. And I'll see you next time. For now, keep reading.